Welcome back to Breezing with Bierman. We are very fortunate today because we have as our guest Michelle Lambros Pirone. She is a candidate for Princeton Council election for this coming June 5th, right,
That's
Michelle?
right. The primary
Michelle is a Princeton native with a global perspective. So, can you tell us more about that, Michelle?
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you. In terms of the Princeton native, I was born here and raised here, and I have long roots in the community. My family, my great grandfather came over in the late 1800s. My grandfather came in 1900. They worked as stonemasons and landscapers at the university. So my family really helped build the town.
The town.
So it's so we really go back a long way, and there's a lot of us Pirones in the
Pirones, right?
Pirones
They're
in the
still around as
They're
well,
still
right?
around.
Well, how about that global perspective?
So yeah,
Let's talk about that.
So in terms of that, I really believe in the adage, think globally, act locally. And this is really the reason why I've got involved in politics. I mean, early on, my early career, I studied politics and international affairs, and I was real active and all that. And then life, took me in a different direction. But, things right now at the national level, I'm not happy with. A lot of us are really, upset about what's happening. So I just feel like I can think about that on a global level, but I can act and do something here locally.
Locally.
So that's why I decided to run for town council.
Well, let's talk about that. Why did you run for council? Why are you running, Michelle?
I mentioned the roots, and I see things in my community. By the way, backing up, I've been all over the world. I lived in Mexico.
Let's talk about those countries.
Yeah. So after school, I went to California. I worked in California in congressional campaigns, and I started my business in event management.
So you had like political background.
I worked on Capitol Hill, and then I did some congressional and local campaigns, some fundraising. Then I got into event management. And I started my own business, my first of many businesses when I was 26.
Were you in Mexico for that business?
I was in California.
I
went to California.
Okay.
And then met my husband, fell in love.
Yeah,
we got married.
The husband, yes.
So off we went to follow his career. I went to Mexico.
Okay.
So I didn't have my business anymore, but I got a job in Mexico, learned Spanish, and I worked in
So you're very fluent in Spanish too.
Yeah, I'm pretty fluent.
Awesome. We have a lot of constituents of Spanish speaking in Princeton.
Yeah, very muy importante. So anyway, I worked in Mexico, and then my husband got a job in Florida, so we moved to Florida, and there I decided we were having our second baby, and decided that I didn't want to do corporate anymore, so I started a business. I started a retail wine store, and then to promote the retail wine store, I started a wine and food festival.
Oh,
so
wow.
I kind of created this community event.
So you were able to like bring out that event background,
event management,
and business management,
fundraising, business management, all that. Did a little real estate
Seems like
investing
you're going to be
too.
so ready for this new role that you have. But let's talk about your platform, because you're talking about you've been a business owner or like business management for more than 25 years, and one of your platforms is about small businesses. So what are the other major areas of your platforms? Let's talk about those.
Well, looking at Princeton, I mean, and having grown up here, I see, how Princeton has changed. And, I want to see us preserve some of the historic character of our town. But at the same time, development's going to happen. There's a need for new homes. So there's a lot of new homes going up. And I think we can just do a little bit better managing that change, in terms of how we zone, in terms of having smart growth, in terms of sustainability. There's a lot of things I think that we can apply some good management to. So that's one area. Property taxes are a big concern in New Jersey.
Talk about those property taxes, especially like for the seniors.
It's a hot button. Look, New Jersey across the board has more municipalities and school districts than most any other state in the nation. So that brings up our property taxes. That's one of the issues, and that's not something you can really do anything about at the municipal level. But I do believe that we are overtaxing our seniors and our longtime residents. I see us kind of squeezing that middle class. And we have an outmigration in the middle class. And I do believe that there are some solutions. So I'm digging for those answers. And I think that bringing kind of a fresh perspective to
Fresh
things,
perspective,
you
right?
know, and being a little bit outside of the political realm
Hmm.
sometimes gives you a little bit. I feel I have the freedom to ask the questions and look for the answers.
When did you officially come back to Princeton?
I officially came back last June.
Last June,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you're
So
already ready
dove right
there,
in.
like getting into this politics.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
like, let's talk about all of those other things. Like some of the things you mentioned, like development. Are you up for overdevelopment? Do you think Princeton has that problem too? Like many towns in New Jersey have that issue. And that when we look at local
Hmm.
perspective or local issues, that's always a hot button. Overdevelopment in their towns. What do you think about Princeton and overdevelopment?
Well, I mean, first of all, Princeton's population has held pretty flat for 50 years. We had a big boom in the 40s and 50s and a big
Mm-hmm.
influx, and the population growth has been pretty flat since then. So you can't say that we are overpopulated or that there's an issue there. I think that we do have some affordable housing that we will have to increase. We have 750 units that we have to, that's been state mandated that we need to
Mm-hmm.
increase. But in addition to that, I mentioned before, there's modern big homes coming in. I think there's a
Yes.
huge market for new modern homes.
Yeah,
I
modern
just
homes, right?
and my only issue is let's manage it better. Let's not cut down all the mature tree canopy that we
Yes,
have.
like, and
It changed
I
the
saw
look.
as
Yeah.
part of your like platforms too is like preserving our town,
Save the
right? Preserve
trees.
saving the
Exactly.
trees, like,
Exactly.
development is okay, but if we are,
Yeah.
like we're not taking in consideration all those culture and what makes Princeton unique,
Exactly.
maybe we can like manage that better, right?
Exactly. That's my issue. And I'm doing some research. There's other townships in the state that have stricter laws about cutting down trees and making sure that you keep some of the mature canopy, especially on the perimeter
Mm-hmm.
of the lots, so that you're not strip mining and ripping down all the trees when you're building a new home. And then you can have some characteristic plans in terms of how those how what the look of the homes is. You can have a little bit more management of that. So I just think you can still preserve the look of our town and still have those new modern homes that's the market, that's market driven, and there's nothing wrong with that.
So people will ask, like, "Oh, she just came back to town," and like, are you affected by what happened in the 2016 election? There was a big emergence of like women getting involved in politics, not only running but also being involved, like having people vote, like running campaigns.
Hmm.
Like, what can you tell about that? Is this a response to like what happened in 2016? Like,
Absolute.
this town is very upset, like with the results of the presidential election in
Hmm.
2016. And can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. I mean, I was in Kuwait, and we felt the change in what was happening, and not liking the direction that the country's going in. And I resolved that when I came back to live in my hometown, I was going to be in public
In
service.
public service.
And I think the more women that get involved in government, that run for office, the more we can affect positive change across the board at all levels of our government. So when I came back, the first thing I did was to join the local Democratic Club,
Mm-hmm.
and I applied for a training program that you and I both know about,
Yes,
which is
that's I
Emerge New
featured that.
Jersey.
Yes, I featured that organization 2 months ago
Yeah,
in my What's
yeah,
Trending segment. It's the Emerge New
yeah,
Jersey. They train Democratic women to run for office, and not just to
yeah.
run, but to run campaigns and get
Hmm.
involved in politics. Michelle and I are part of the class of
That's
2018. We're
right.
so proud of
That's
that.
right.
And Michelle and so as I think three more, Darcy, Trisha,
And
Nicole,
Nicole now.
they are
We're all running.
already
We're all
running,
running.
but there are
Yes.
still in this
Yes.
classes that will
Yes.
end in June. And while they are being
Hmm.
equipped to be great candidates, they are already running for offices.
It's like real time training. We do a training session, and I'm doing it in real time, and it's really fabulous. And it really, was the first initial, push to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as I explored the issues in Princeton, I saw that I think that I can bring some fresh eyes, a new perspective, my business experience, my business acumen to help. And so that's why I decided to run.
Let's talk about those challenges because I
Okay.
know it's like it seems like so great that I came back to the town and then I am going to run for office or be in public service.
Hmm.
You went to have a political training
Hmm.
and you joined your Democratic organization. What are some of the challenges of that? Because a lot of people don't know the process. It's not just like I want to run and then you can just run. You can do that, but there's a lot of process. What are some of the challenges that you encountered?
There is, and I mean, there might be, you want to be part of the process and get involved in the party, but at the same time, I encourage anyone who wants to run, who's interested, to learn about it and to get out there. I mean, you need 50 signatures on a petition, and you can be on a ballot. I mean, you can get involved. But the main thing I think that's so important is educating yourself. I mean, I go to town council meetings, I go to commission meetings, I go to different civic organizations, and I talk to a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of the municipal committee members. And the process is really educating yourself on the issues and being up on it and doing a lot of reading and studying. I mean, I think that's really important to be involved.
So our Emerge New Jersey started in January, and then you got into this political arena officially like
February.
February. I think we had like 2 classes in one weekend, and then Michelle came back to class and like, I am running for Princeton office. Like that's how it was done. But in that for those young women, not just women, for those people are interested in politics, like learn your affiliation, right? Either whatever part you are in, either you're Republican or Democrat. You have those democratic organizations in your town, and you need to get involved. Like be part of those committees.
Exactly.
Get involved, learn the process and the system, and then
help other people.
And help other people.
Come out, help me, help other candidates. Because the more you learn and the more you're involved in campaigns, like I was when I was,
earlier
back in college,
you had that, right?
It's really essential to understand how the process works.
I was at the conversation with Hillary Clinton last night in Rutgers University, and one of the things
you were lucky. You got a ticket.
I got the coveted ticket. It's so hard to get those tickets.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was asked about how can we like sustain this emergence of like women like getting involved and all the March for Our Lives, Women's March, like all those people, the people getting engaged, being activists as well. How can we sustain that? And she answers the same way as you did, like get involved. Not everybody will be wanting to be the candidate.
Right.
Not everyone would want to run, but you can still be involved.
Right. I have to say, I've met so many amazing women, from our Emerge sisters also to like local people that I'm just meeting that want to be involved. And so many people are just jumping on the bandwagon of my campaign to help me.
Yeah.
And it just makes my heart swell. It's just
Tell us
amazing.
some of those experiences that you've had.
People like, that just say, let me come help you. What do you need help with? I'm like, oh, please help me with social media. I'm really hopeless.
Yes.
And, so I have someone she's lovely, Patty, who's helping me on social media. And then I have someone that does PR. A couple different women who do PR. They're giving me
a lot
of assistance.
Like people that you already know,
no,
or
they're people that I've been meeting, which is so amazing. And then one leads to another, to another, to another. I mean, I've been going to a lot of civic organizations, the Chamber of Commerce, the Princeton Merchants Association, things like that. And I meet different people in different venues. I mean, people, even some that are just in financial realm or bankers or whatever. And they stepped up and said, you know what, if you're going canvassing door to door, I'm going to come with you. Here's my card. Amazing, just amazing.
And we'll tell people, if you want to get involved in Michelle's candidacy, PironeForCouncil.com. You can donate, volunteer, and be part of the change that you would like for Princeton, right? But let's talk about that. You talk about the financial people. They always talk about fundraising.
Yes.
That's a lot of like candidates or like potential candidates. That's that negativity that they see. It's like, oh, I don't want to fundraise. Like that's so difficult. Tell us more about that experience that you're having with your fundraising.
People are so open, and they know that you need to raise money in order to be a serious candidate, and they're happy to help.
For our audience, like how much do you need to run? Like this is for town council.
You can run a town council race with a couple $1,000s.
Okay.
You can do more. You can always do more. But, it just depends on if you want to do lawn signs, if you're going to do mailers, if you're going to do Facebook. I mean, how much you're going to be
Are
out
you
there.
doing all of those?
I'm doing all the above.
All of
Yeah,
the
I'm doing all
above.
the above. So I really want to get out there as much as possible because I also feel like I want to get my message, and
Mm-hmm.
I also really feel it's important to give a voice to people that may not be in the political circles.
Mm-hmm.
People that may feel somewhat disenfranchised or disconnected with what's happening in town politics, and I want to tell them it's your primary, it's your
Mm-hmm.
vote, it's your town council, and they can come out
Let's talk about that process, because like in
okay,
June
and be part
5th,
of it.
this is just the Democratic primary.
Yes,
So why are we just focusing in Princeton on Democratic primary? I thought the election is in November.
you're
Most people
you're
will
right.
think about that.
You're right.
Explain it to our audience why June 5th
Right.
is the coveted day that needs to be determined. Who's going to be winning.
It's demographics. It's simply that the registration is really 10, almost 5 to 1.
5 to 1.
Democrats
So
to
there are like
Republicans,
5 Democrats and 1
to everyone
Republicans in
Republican.
Princeton.
Yes, that's correct. So it's a huge difference. Now, if you don't change, if you want to vote in the Democratic Party, so in other words, the people that are running for the primary right now, the top 2 vote getters, will be the next council people. That's kind of how it works. Because
Technically, right? So this is
technically,
one of
so it's
those
like a
political.
de facto election.
This is like one of
Yeah.
those political process that a party can determine who is going to be the winner.
Yes.
Because of demographics.
Yes.
Just like how Princeton is set up.
Right.
Not just set up, but the demographics. Like there are more Democrats. So even if they run in November, the Democrats potentially will win.
Potentially. So the other thing is unaffiliated voters, which are
Talk
6,000
to us
people.
about those.
Now,
Are there a lot of
unaffiliated voters,
unaffiliated
there's 6,000 in Princeton.
compared to how much Democrat and Republican?
10,000 Democrats, 2,000 Republicans,
6,000
unaffiliated.
So
Now,
they can be
unaffiliated can come to the polls that day and declare Democrat and get the Democratic ballot to vote.
So that's very important.
Which
so
is
those
important.
people that are unaffiliated,
Right.
But if there's still time to like change that,
They don't need to change ahead of time. They can actually come to the polls.
So it's gonna be so easy. So in June 5th, if you
Right.
come to the polls in Princeton, you even as an affiliated,
you can
still come.
But you just have to say, I want to vote Democrat, and change your party right then and there.
So
however,
they can be part of the process.
They can be
What's
part
the
of the process.
however?
If you're Republican and you want to vote in the primary for one of the Democratic candidates, you have to change your party affiliation before April 11th.
Do you still have like Democrat primaries too that's happening in Princeton?
What's that?
Do they have that? Primaries, Republicans?
Yeah, I mean, there's. I don't know if there's anybody on the ballot for Republicans or for unaffiliated.
So technically, like this Democratic ticket is your battle.
That's right.
So let's talk about what is your edge over your opponents, because I know you started with 7 candidates.
We're 6 right now.
We're down to 6 right now.
Yeah, we're 6 now. I again, we go back to my business experience. I mean, no one else has the small business background that I have, and I've done it for so many years. And I'm really reaching out to the business community. I think it's really important.
How are the responses from the business community?
Very warm. They really, but they feel that they have a lot of things that they want to see the town do. They want to work together. And there is an economic development commission that was recently formed, which I think is a fantastic first step in getting this communication happening between the town, the business
owners,
and the university. This is a really essential component. And I think that my business background, my acumen, gives a little bit more insight into where the business community is coming from. We're not an adversarial. We need to be supporting it. I mean, I believe that small business is the backbone of the economy throughout the country. And here in Princeton, we are having some ripple effects of, a lot of big box retail and online, that are really hurting, creating a lot of competition.
Especially like the small business
for the
owners.
small, mom and pop shops.
Yep.
And, our restaurants are doing fine, our services are there, but it's those retailers I'm really concerned with. A lot of us are concerned with. But I think that by supporting a shop local strategy, by
how do you
think
a local government and with partnership with the university can help small business owners?
Well, I think in terms of promoting, fixing the parking issues, which we have in hand.
God.
We have in hand. There are some really good solutions. that we're working on, and promoting a shop local strategy. Back in the day when I was growing up here, it was different. We really supported the local businesses. Maybe we're more of a captive audience. We didn't get on our
Do we
cars.
still have a lot of those small businesses in the area?
We're losing some.
We're losing them. Because like if you
There's
walk
a
in
couple.
Nauset Street or Witherspoon Street, you
Yeah.
see big names already, right? Like
Yeah.
chain.
Yeah. But like Hewlett's recently closed, which was a loss. I remember that was a shoe store that I used to shop at years ago. The American Sew and Back, just closed as well.
So a lot. Oh wow, that closed already.
Yeah, so you feel that those changes, and I do believe though that if we are strategic, we can attract some. Look, we're Princeton. We're a cutting edge community. And, if we can attract some really interesting retailers, and if we can support those mom and pop shops through incentives, through making it easier for zoning ordinances
and parking, so people
it's
easier to come in.
The solution to parking, I believe, is really well at hand. I really believe we're very close within this calendar year. We will see a big change in parking, and that also needs to be turned and promoted as, okay, now come shop, come back to downtown and give us your business.
Aside from the business, small business concerns, do you also hear any other issues from the voters or from the constituents of Princeton that they tell you that you need to work on?
Yeah, well, I think like green spaces, our parks need some more investment. I think we could have a better freebie bus service because we have a very limited bus service. But again, there's solutions at hand between the business community and university and what we're doing with freebie buses. It's all a matter of communication. I believe in private-public partnerships. And I think that there are things that we can do. But people are talking about that. They want a dog park.
Dog park.
Simple thing,
important.
Right?
A lot of people have dogs.
We all have dogs. There are a lot of dogs in our
neighborhood.
And
we love our
dogs.
Yeah. Love those for friends. So we're approaching towards the end of our interview, Michelle, and we're just so happy to get to know you. And I'm so excited for the people of Princeton that watches the Princeton TV, and also we're on Facebook Live. This is going to be available in YouTube and in other platforms. We want you to be, the people to get to know you. But before that, we'll do a little fast talk. So this is the Raya's fast talk. So you'll just choose between the things that I have here, and then it's just a light way, way to end this segment. So, of course, I was going to ask Democrat or Republican.
I'm Democrat.
Democrat. Red or blue?
Blue.
Ice cream or yogurt?
Yogurt.
Sun and moon?
Sun.
Spring or fall?
Spring.
Outdoors or indoors?
Out.
Swimming or hiking?
Swimming.
Peanut butter or jelly?
Oh, jelly.
Jelly. Your favorite superhero?
Batman.
Favorite spot to relax?
The beach.
Your favorite food?
Polenta.
Polenta. Yummy. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Coffee. Your
favorite TV show?
Seinfeld.
If you can access someone's mind for a day, who will it be?
Oh, that's it. I say Obama.
Barack Obama. If you can do something outrageous for the day, what will it be?
Outrageous for the day. Just ride my bike around at the beach.
Awesome. So that has been Michelle Lambros, Pirone Lambros, for running for city council here on Princeton. Tell us, our viewers, where we can find you.
So you can find me at pironeforcouncil.com, on Facebook, Michelle Pirone Lambros for Council,
or just Pirone,
or just
pironeforcouncil.com. That's quicker.
Pironeforcouncil.com. So,
and she's also on Facebook.
Yeah.
For her Twitter. And Twitter. Yeah. Check this out. It's going to be available there. So that has been Michelle running for city council.